And welcome back, city-taking tubers, to the second of my post-commentary audio Let's Plays of Third Age Total War with me, Blue Ankylo. Anyway, so in between episodes, I started the battle, basically, and deployed my troops, or at least got them basically set up. We're doing a side-to-side attack because it's got the nicest routes to the center of the city. Also, I apologize for the ending to the last video. I didn't quite catch when I was recording the post-commentary over. I didn't quite catch the end of it, so I didn't expect the thanks for watching bit at the end. I wasn't ready for it. So, yeah, you know, you have to imagine I said it that time. Anyway, welcome back. And I'm sure I'm explaining something important here about how I split my troops up, and I was all prepared for this battle. I've got some dwarves ready to go, and yeah, let's kick some butt, rune butt. So the AI didn't defend that gate at all. They actually put their armies in the center, the normal spot, which is kind of silly because that's not where my guys are at all. And so I'm, moving my troops around a little bit just to take advantage of that. I tried to split my two sides up fairly evenly, so they both have a couple archers, a few infantry, and one of the javelineers, whatever you call them. So yeah, you can see me moving my guys up. As usual, I have Hearth Watchmen on the battering rams, and the good units kind of behind them. So I've got like dwarves on one side, and my new stronger infantry on this side, basically, with the standard one general, one longbowman on each side. Seems to be fine. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have actually increased the in-game music a little bit. I forgot to mention it in the last episode, even the second time. That's pretty bad of me. The point is, the game has, or the mod especially, has some really awesome music, so I didn't want you guys missing out. So hopefully it's a little bit more noticeable now than some of the earlier episodes. Of course, with this being post-commentary, I'm fiddling with all the audio settings in Audacity a little bit anyway. So anyway, on to the battle. What's going on? The AI is pulling back to the center of the city, so I just speed things up a little bit to save some time. It looks like they're just gonna group their dudes up in the middle there, and not really do much. They could have been defending the walls with their javelins, but they decided to hide in the middle of the town. But I'm happy to take advantage of that. And thanks to my crazy long range on my archers, I'm sure we can shoot them from outside with a bit of luck. Here I actually kind of made a mistake there. I realized it right here. I should have just sent these guys in, because they're much closer, and had the backup infantry just slowly walk closer like normal. And then the javelins, as usual, not super useful, so I keep them at the back, and get my guys up a little closer for some archery. Now this side of the battle kind of goes a little bit pear-shaped, as you could say. For some reason, my dudes are not battering down that wall, or that door, the gate. I don't think I've noticed it just yet, but they're actually not doing their job on that side, so we'll see. I'll notice that eventually. So yeah, they're just hiding in the center of the town. They do have their deadly generals, so you always got to watch out for them. And here I'm noticing that the walls, like the village is actually, or what am I trying to say? The road is very narrow, so it's very close quarters combat in there, and I'm expecting them to come charge down at my spearmen or something like that. It seems like that's narrower than usual to me anyway. And here these generals refuse to go where I told them to. I don't know what their problem is. You can tell quite clearly where they're supposed to be, and they're not moving. So I try here a couple times to sort this out, and have a bit of difficulty for some reason. I don't know what their problem is. Yeah, they didn't accept that command at all. I believe I mentioned something clever about how the old I can't remember the name for it now. The engine, the old engine for Total War games wasn't as clever for troop positions as the newer ones, like for Empire and Shogun and all that. So some things you have to put up with if you're playing these old ones. Got some archers shooting, lots of vertical shots, but lots of good shots direct, I suppose is a good name for it. And they're actually targeting their generals right off the bat, so I'm happy about that. So of course the AI takes that as a cue to attack us. My archers are still having a heck of a time getting in position, but they're almost there. And here I finally noticed that something's wrong with my battering ram. I don't know what's gotten into my troops today, but they're not attacking the ram, the gate. They're just wandering around like idiots. So I try to resort it. I get them out and try to reset it, of course. Meanwhile, my dudes are getting murdered by the generals. This will become a common sight for this video. The general bodyguard murdering everything, and me not knowing what to do exactly. So I figure my archers should be shooting the tribesmen in the center so they can kill them. And I figure, well, I want to get the dwarves in there eventually, but I'm going to let the spearmen tire these guys out for a bit. You know how the fodder works. So I've got my dwarves right there, ready. I'm just going to let those guys take the brunt for a little while, just so I don't lose too many dwarves. That's the plan. So I'm like, okay, what's wrong with these guys? Why are they not taking that damn gate? We should have our dudes in there by now. So I think I try to get them to form tight formations, figuring maybe that'll help. And it's not like we have any towers to worry about on this side. No one's manning them, so whatever the reason is, I try to get my guys into position to help out a little bit. Over here, nothing too exciting. The general's slaughtering my watchmen like crazy. We've already lost 50-some dudes, and they've lost like 1, maybe. I think it's more likely the archers killed 1 than the watchmen, actually. Dwarves are just raring to go. They're pumped. So I decide, you know what? Let's show them the power of a dwarf. So I send the dwarves in finally. I'm sure you guys have been waiting for dwarf attack for ages. They've got lots of dudes in the center of town, but who cares about them? My archers should be, you know, killing them pretty good. Except this guy's not shooting because his range isn't. He's just not in the right spot for some reason, so he's not actually getting any shots. Because he's still not where I actually wanted him. He just refuses to stand where he's supposed to be. And then I realize my dwarves are stuck behind my watchmen, so I'm like, watchmen, get the heck out of there. Let the dwarves kill the horses, right? And over here, the gate is still not down. I don't know what the heck's going on. I thought I had clicked it again, but this time it looks like it's going to work, finally. So, yeah, something went wrong on this side. I'm sure I clicked it a couple times, but it's like they refused to batter it down. But there, I'm happy. I see that go. I'm like, all right, finally. And the archers are helping out anyway. They're shooting in there, so. But, yeah. So then, oh yeah, the dwarves, right. What's going on with the dwarves? Surprisingly, not that well. The watchmen are kind of stuck in the way, kind of, maybe. And I've actually lost a lot of dwarves. The horses are starting to fall a little bit, but it's difficult. So my dwarves are in there. You know, you get to see them chopping down some horses here and there. They're certainly better than the watchmen, but I still think the cavalry are stronger than my dwarves. Like, oh yeah, and the computer interrupts me again, of course. But at least we know the gate's open, so that's good. My archers are now shooting through the door at the skirmishers that have come over, and I decide, you know, this is a good time for my watchmen to go cause some trouble, so we'll have them move behind the cavalry and maybe engage the skirmishers. And at this point I notice I'm losing a lot of dwarves, and a lot of it has to do with those javelins, actually, I'm sure. So, yeah, and also javelineers, they can throw vertical shots just like archers too. I don't know how they do it, but they can throw it so high it goes like vertically over stuff. And land straight down. It's a little bit crazy when it works with javelins. I think actually crossbowmen can do it too. I'm pretty sure that will be fixed in the next version of Medieval 3 whenever it comes out, because you should be able to shoot a crossbow straight up and have it land on anyone. That shouldn't work. Archery, there's a reason it's called archery, but crossbow is totally direct shot. No arch at all, hardly. Arc at all. Anyway, we see these dwarves are getting killed a lot. We're down to 99 dwarves. We still have 5 cavalry. They are working pretty good, but I don't know if it's the javelins or just the generals themselves, but we're losing a lot of dwarves here. Like, I wasn't too happy about this. I'm like, man, our basic watchmen were almost that good. They could stand there and get murdered by generals just fine. So, it's probably the javelins, and I didn't really... I mean, I tried to send a unit to engage them, and I finally got my back attack going, but they have lost half their men. You know how it is. I wasn't quite sure what to do at this point. In hindsight, maybe I should have moved my dwarves over or back or something, and you know, because they're getting killed by javelins there. But for whatever reason, I leave them there and they get killed. So I was a little bit disappointed with my dwarves, but I'm sure it's mostly my fault. And like, I'm like, I've got my dudes engaged in melee with those javelins. Why are they still throwing javelins? They should be stopped, you know, like. So they're down to 2 generals, and we're still taking tons of deadly javelins. Ah, horrible. Poor dwarves. We're down to half a unit of dwarves, 76 left. And there's still that stupid watchman there. I'm like, if that watchman kills the final general, I'm going to be really upset. So I'm hoping the dwarves finally kill the bodyguard. Or it's actually not even the bodyguard. That's the general. He's the only guy left. And as always, he's just impossible to kill. Just so hard. Look at my... I'm down to 56 dwarves. This is crazy. So I'm not happy. If you could hear my real live commentary, I was just very upset at this point. I just lost most of my unit of dwarves for 1 general bodyguard. And just not happy. No one seems to be able to hit it. I'm like, someone just chop the horse's legs off or something and kill him. Because this is ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm like, that's it. Everyone get in town square. You know, I don't care what you guys are doing out there. Get in there. Look at this giant stack I've got back there. Just doing nothing. Standing around, not killing the enemy. So, I'm probably very frustrated at this point. So I'm like, you know what, guys? You can just fight it out. I don't care anymore. If you die, you die. Or something like that. And I forget here, but yeah, that 1 general, he's still alive after all this. The towers here are still shooting. That's how I figure it out. I'm like, why are these towers shooting at my guys? You see the arrows shooting at my dudes? And then I realized, oh yeah, that 1 general, he's still manning the towers himself, shooting my guys. So yeah, I was pretty upset about all that. I probably should have had a defensive line further away from the tower so that they couldn't activate the towers when they charged us, and that would have helped save us some lives. And yeah, the spearmen kill him, of course. The dwarves are... I just pulled the dwarves out there at some point. And I'm like, whatever, you guys get out of here. You're off the team, basically. And I think I just speed forward to the end of the battle pretty quick, because... yeah, these guys are still alive. Like, that first unit of Hearth Watchmen, they're still kicking. So, send them in. You know. My apologies for the post-commentary once again. This isn't quite how I meant to do it. But, yeah, you know how it goes. I'm still not sure how Fraps managed to disable my microphone. It's never happened before. It just magically decided it didn't want to pick it up. I hear the audio through my headset, so it was obviously working. It just decided not to listen to my voice. Fraps was tired of my voice. That's my excuse. So yeah, here we go. We just quick speed it to the end. Fairly frustrating, all things considered. I lost a lot of men for what I was expecting to be a very easy city. Like, they only had three tribesmen, and look at this. I almost lost as many dudes as they did. Like, for outnumbering them 5-1 and still losing almost as many, that's very disappointing. Blue Ankylo, even now, is still a little bit embarrassed about that, so... I mean, the good news is we got another town. The bad news is it was surprisingly costly. So, you know, we're happy. General gets to take it. Cavalry still can't get in the door, but you know how it goes. So yeah, and here I believe I look at my town for a minute. Of course, it's got a pretty good population. It's almost ready to grow. I was looking at the buildings. I might have explained here the evil men style. Once I build the next tier, it will turn into like normal Dale style, and it's no big deal really that it says evil men. It just looks different for now. We'll replace all that stuff eventually. And then I find a caravan stop, and I go, I don't think this does anything for us. It's a rune-only building, so why don't I just destroy it? There we go, we got some money. And now I can build my standing stones, because the culture out here is pretty weak. So yeah, I figured that was kind of smart. And what else did I do? Looked at this next town that's getting more and more defended. Oh, those things, the culture buildings, they get automatically demolished when you take them. It's just the other buildings stay, of course. And everyone hates us, that's fine. I don't care about Rune and the Dark Lord Mordor. He's like the Mordor Pope, that faction, the Dark Lord. He's, you can't actually find him on the map, or at least you shouldn't be able to. So I'm like, what should I do next? I'm thinking my spy maybe should go look for their capital, maybe find their other city down here. So I think, yeah, look at that. We found it first shot, no problem. So that's another little ruined settlement, very small, very weak defended, kind of in between us and Mordor. And then I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, you can get to Mordor back here through this territory that Ruin controls. This is like the back door. And there's a fair bit of settlements in there. And this is like the normal entrance up here in the front, whatever it's called. One's the Black Gate, one's Minas Ithil or something. I can't remember. The Lord of the Rings lore people will know. But we can actually, and we might, plan on invading from the rear just to really throw them off and destroy their economy and stuff a little bit. So I'm sort of planning out my attack a little bit at this point. And figuring, yeah, we'll leave the elves alone, and we probably won't go too far to the west like that. We'll just let that be, so Rohan and Gondor can fight there. But maybe we'll head south through the desert, maybe, because down here is Harad, and there's a few settlements back here. They're kind of spread out, thin, but we could take it. And if we make it all the way to here, this is like the capital for Harad. This is where they make all their money, and they've got big cities. So I'm thinking, yeah, if we could get all the way there, that'd be pretty awesome. And at that point, the game is sort of won, because we've killed Ruin and Harad, and maybe weakened Mordor by then. So I was figuring, you know, hopefully at that point Gondor would be doing okay. Again, we don't really know what's going on right now with Gondor, but that's kind of my long-term plan, I think. I was planning that out, figuring, yeah, you know, oh yeah, and then I'm like, yeah, right, diplomacy, yes, let's see what's going on. So I figure might as well trade maps with Isengard, you know, Lord Lurtz, you know, he's a nice guy, I'm sure he'd talk to us. Share his maps, thanks. Even orcs can share. And of course he accepts trade. I mean, we're nice dalesmen. And they show us a bunch of videos here. If you travel to those areas normally, they appear right when your general or your army arrives at that area. That's probably what my erratic mouse waving was saying. But because we got the map information, it unlocked all that area. So we kind of get to see how far Isengard's got on the little mini-map there. They only have 5 or 6 settlements, so I'm not too concerned with them. They haven't, like, spread out and taken over everything of Rohan. So I'm like, well, yes, maybe everything's okay down here. Let's go talk to Rohan. Maybe we can get their map, too.
I shall continue, you know, tomorrow.
Why not? Also, I think our diplomat's getting pretty good at this point, so it seems more likely that we'll get some guys. Can't recruit any more diplomats because we still only have one city that has a town hall or something, so it's a little bit disappointing there.
Yes, my lord.
So yeah, took another city. We got Burr something or other. Emmer, I haven't even figured it out yet. Still can't pronounce that. And I find some more cities, yeah. That's their capital. It's not even a very big city. I was a little bit surprised. I was expecting it to have stone walls. And then another city there with even weaker walls. Like, at this point I'm a little bit confused. I'm like, where's all the big cities? I thought Rune had large cities. But apparently on the east side of the map, nothing. And I'm pointing out that we're trading with Darwinian now through sea trade and making lots of money through that, which is great. Lots of money is good. We need our monies. Sea trade affects both towns and they both make more, so having more of that is a good thing. And we're off to turn 42, so things are going well. Got another city. That's what Rune gets for not defending their cities. We get to take it. I still feel like we lost too many units taking it, to be honest, but... And the dwarves, I wasn't super impressed. I mean, maybe they'll get another shot later on, but I kind of felt like that was a bit weak. Alright, so the council gives us a mission to take another city. I'm like, well, that's handy. But it's not quite the next one I was going to take. It's a little bit further away. I figured Roman would have been nice, a good quest. So we're going to have to take Roman first and then go that way, I think, because you can't walk through that forest. At least I don't think you can. So I check our money, we're making 2,600 or so, I think. And still recruiting dudes. And so that's all good. Looking at our troops. Decide, oh yeah, Dale Swordsman, I see them there. Let's keep recruiting the good units. That's the plan, right? Replace everything with good troops. And our castle's still looking good. And yeah, there's that little Rune army. I think I need to defeat this. And I was planning on doing this off camera, so I think I changed my mind here or something. Let's see if I remember what happens. I decided, what did I decide here? I don't know what I was talking about. I was just... Oh, I was talking about like whether or not you're retraining them will give them armor or replenishment, and I figured it would just give them leather armor, so I wasn't too worried about it. Because the culture was so low, there was no way it was going to replenish the actual troops. So here comes our next big army.
With honor.
It's a pretty scary looking stack we've got there, and I figure we should spy on Kelipar, which is very weakly defended. So it might be smart to try to take that city out first, but I figure if I did that, I'd leave a big hole, and then Rune would attack me from behind or something. But I also think, I mean, heck, that's their capital. It's not very well defended either. I mean, look at that. Still pretty lousy walls, but it's level 2 walls or something you might call them. So I'm sort of checking this with my spy to see if there's any like big armies running around, because I'm like, am I still ready to go? I figure Rune has some more settlements down there maybe, but we're really pushing them back. You know, they've only got these small armies here and there, so if that's all they've got, I'm thinking, well, maybe we should keep pushing, you know, keep attacking, keep on the pressure. So, yeah. So I'm looking at this army, I'm thinking, yeah, I should clean this up probably. But you guys probably don't want to watch that, right? So I think I'm going to cut the video here. I think. Is that what I do? I didn't do it. I did do it, right. So I wasn't planning on showing this, but it turned out that it was a bridge battle. I didn't notice. So a bonus point to anyone who noticed that before I did, because I noticed it, you know, after the battle started. I went, oh, bridge battles. And this means we're assaulting, which is bad. So I figured, well, this might be entertaining. I should record this after all. And so here I'm plotting out my plan. There's no other crossings. There's just one. And the enemy doesn't have a lot of troops, but defending a bridge is a pretty strong position. I'm also thinking these dwarves, you know, you're going in first because I'm not impressed with you guys. So you gotta make up for it here on the bridge, which is a good place for dwarves. I mean, they probably like bridges. Maybe. I don't know. But, so I spend a minute here setting up my troops. For bridge battles, there's not a lot of setup, really. It's just plan. If you're assaulting, I mean, I think I was mentioning when I was recording this at first that I haven't actually done a bridge assault in ages, so I'm kind of guessing on what the best way to do this is. I've done lots of bridge defenses, which are great fun, especially if you've got a couple catapults or ballista. Oh, you can just kill so many enemies. If you got a couple, like up on the hill, if I had a couple ballista there, I could just slaughter them, but we don't. So I'm like, well, gotta try to use my archers as best I can, and I'll have my cav ready to zoom across if they give me a chance. I figure probably my javelins aren't going to help much, and my powerful troops I'm going to keep in reserve because I don't have very many, and I don't want them to get murdered on the bridge. I believe the enemy has archers somewhere over there. So yeah, somewhere over here, some archers and some javelins. That'd be enough to give us a bad day if we ran across and they held the line. So I give it a second to see what's going on and decide, well, our archers can shoot all the way across, as it turns out. We've got such a long range that we can actually shoot them while they're standing there. And I'm thinking, well, I can move my little generals up closer because they're small units. It's much easier to maneuver them right by the water there. Bigger units are harder to organize like that. So I'm like, you guys go right up there and speedily run, of course. And I think they listen a little bit better in this episode. Last battle, they were a little bit slow. They didn't quite follow instructions. But today, we're good. So then I'm like, well, let's prepare for the assault. I mean, if we have to charge the bridge, we have to charge the bridge. So we might as well have our dudes ready. A little bit confused with my controls here were a little bit weak, but you know, I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out eventually. It appears the AI is going to defend, of course, so they're not going to attack us. You couldn't expect that. They have the defensive position, so that's smart. What's not smart, though, is they're just standing there in range of our archers, which is kind of disappointing as far as like good AI goes. So I'm like, well, if they're going to stand there, I'm going to shoot them. I've got lots of arrows. There's no point walking across that death trap and taking a lot of losses. Because I wasn't expecting this to be a bridge battle anyway. If I'd known it was a bridge battle, I probably wouldn't have fought it. I would have waited till they moved. Just because it's such a disadvantage for me, the attacker. So I figured, anyway, if they're going to stand there, let's move our archers around, get some nice angles on them a little bit if we can. Got some javelins. Look at that volley of arrows getting over there, killing them by the dozen. This time my longbowmen refused to cooperate. Yeah, they were supposed to be moved up there. They didn't want to listen. At least my generals listened today. So these guys are over here. I'm thinking lots of dudes to kill over there. Those are their archers on the hill. And then in the center they've got a little bit of infantry and some skirmishers, of course. I imagine if I charged over, the skirmishers would run away pretty quick. But I think they have enough infantry to hold the bridge for a while. And their archers, of course, would be shooting at us. And my longbowmen, you know, they're just not listening. I don't know. I was having some bad luck on today's recording. Troops just not following orders and standing where they were supposed to. So anyway, they finally listen. They move into position. And we can speed things up, I believe, in a second here. Everyone's got their targets pretty quick here. And I figure we might as well just shoot our arrows. I mean, there's no point rushing across. If the AI is going to stand there, then we might as well shoot them. You can see some nice shots killing loads of enemies. Can't quite hit the guys in the back, I don't think, but 4 out of 5 units is fine. So I do a little bit of individual targeting just to spread out the fire. Sometimes the auto-targeting groups up on one guy and they'll have like 10 guys left and all your archers will be shooting that last 10 guys, when it'd be better if they used the arrows on a big group. So sometimes you gotta auto-target a little bit. Just helps you kill more enemies. So, you know, we're on full speed, just watching the numbers dwindle. I figure our longbowmen are pretty nice. I'd like to have better archers even still. The elves have some pretty amazing archers if you play as an elven faction, but our archers are good. I'd say maybe the second best after the elves, or third, I guess. There's a couple factions of elves, but so I'm like, alright, what's going on? We've still got a few arrows left. Who's the strongest troop over there? We've basically killed their infantry, and we might as well just pick up some more of their tribesmen while we're doing this. I figure we did a pretty good job with our archers for how quick that went, and I moved them back just so I don't accidentally select them or anything. Let these guys use up their arrows. If you notice, we've killed about 2/3 of their army, I think, maybe even more. A pretty good deal, all things considered. I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting this bridge battle to be much more difficult. Yeah, 2/3, 66%. That's pretty good for 4 archers, and I didn't really have a whole lot. I usually would have 6 or so archers in a perfect stack. So I'm a little bit short archer for what I consider. But now I'm like, well, time has come. Prove your worth. Off you go, dwarves and everyone else. And I realized somewhere around here that I probably should have sent the horses a little bit quicker, because I could be flanking them and doing some cool maneuvers over there, but you know how it goes. They're, yeah, the javeliners, they run away pretty quick, so not too much to worry about. And the only thing that's a problem is that their archers are shooting at us, and I kind of forgot about that. I should have charged right away at them. Even then, I did it pretty quick. That'll stop them from shooting us. And basically, the enemy just sort of routs. Like, I guess without a general, the morale is so poor that most of the enemies, most of the groups just give in. You know, they don't even really try. The skirmishers try to skirmish, but I've got some cav.
The battle is very much in our favor.
This is a really nice charge. I was quite happy with this. Look at that nice charge. Kills their general. And I think just routs the whole group, basically. It was a nice side flank. I was quite happy with how that worked out. Sometimes I get good charges. And I mean, there you go, we won. So I spent a couple minutes here gathering up some victims, of course. It's not quite as cool as when it was just 2 hero cav, but I still would rather capture the majority of them than let them escape. I'll still just execute them. I gave up. I think I give up on ransoming them around here because I'm like, the money's okay, and I'm tired of them having little armies that I have to chase down later on. So I let my cavalry go, having some fun, having a good time, you know. Yeah, that's the spirit, boys. Look at them fall. Look at them fall. I love that. That's great. That's how it's supposed to work. Good old cav. I'm like, alright, one more good swath of death. Come on, boys. Kill them all. Although this one doesn't go quite as well. This is a little bit closer to an escort than anything else. So I'm like, what the heck are my cavalry doing? They're supposed to be capturing these guys. So I'm like, alright, let's bring in the good cav. Maybe they can capture them. Pincer attack, right? And yeah, pretty much good crushing blow there. These guys do a bit better. Yeah. Run! Run for the hills! Run for the hills! Just try. I'm a little bit confused with what my cavalry are doing. And then those guys, they like stop and slow down. Yeah, they just suddenly slow down. I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing? And then some other cav run in. Sometimes the pathing is strange. I'm like, they just about caught them, and then they slow down to a trot. I'm like, what is going on? So anyway, the last dude's killed. We're all happy. There was much rejoicing again. And I look at my cav in disbelief, sort of shake my head and go, what is wrong with you guys? So, yeah, that was a strange one. But all in all, the bridge battle, I figure, went quite well. I killed them, of course, but we didn't really lose much. And I think I took a second here to explain the red symbol there, which is probably new. I haven't shown it off. That means the city's about to revolt. And the green means they're happy, so it's public order basically from unrest and all that. And as long as I leave a couple troops in the city, they're fine. But if I leave too many out, not so good. And I figure, you know, this is a good time to have some towers. And I'm like, I should put one tower over here on this hill. That would be awesome. Wouldn't that be smart? And then sometime around here, I figure out, oh, this is enemy territory. Oh, duh, stupid blue ankylo, right? Yeah, I know. So anyway, we managed to crush another rune army there. You got a double battle for this episode. I figured that's pretty good. Oh yes, and then I get sick of tired of trying to pronounce Burr or whatever this name is. So I call it Burr something or rather. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. I don't know what that stupid town was called. Burr something or rather. I wish I had still recorded the way I did that, because I tried to pronounce it like half a dozen times. Burr blah 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 blah, and then I'm like, that's it, something or rather. So you know, can't say it as good the second time, unfortunately. I'm like, whatever, more troops. We lost a lot of guys there. We're gonna need a few more reinforcements. I think I double checked my towns maybe just to see what's going on. Ah, victory conditions. Yeah, I'm planning out. I'm like, okay, so we got to kill Rune. We've got all the settlements we need, and we need 35 regions. I'm like, okay, so we've got 8 right now. That's not very much. I'm like, 8. Okay, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that's still not nearly enough. And I'm like, well, 14 maybe, 15 maybe 16 or so, somewhere back there. I'm like, that's still 20 short. So we're going to need to really conquer a lot more territory to win this game, because we're going to kill Rune a long way earlier than 35. So anyway, that's the plan, and I believe this is the end of the episode. So thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed, and have a great day.